I will reveal to you the things that have remained hidden for so long, because the season of uncertainty is coming to an end, and the time has arrived for you to walk in clarity. You are not present in this moment because of a meaningless coincidence. Nor did your pain bring you here without purpose. There were things I withheld, not because I wanted you to live in confusion, but because truth received too early can become a burden to a heart that has not yet found enough peace to carry it. Now, after all that you have endured, you possess enough depth to understand that not every closed door is a loss. Not every silence is abandonment. And not every slow step means that you are falling behind. I am lifting the veil that caused you to view your life through unanswered questions, so that you may recognize that every seemingly disconnected part of your journey has always been joined together by a loving hand quietly guiding you. Many times you wondered why your journey had to pass through so many turns, while others appeared able to walk straight ahead. You watched opportunities you believed belonged to you fall into the hands of someone else. Relationships that promised to remain eventually became empty spaces. And plans in which you placed all your hope suddenly changed direction. In those moments, you believed you had lost something that could never be recovered. But I could see what you could not. I knew what would slowly exhaust you, even if it seemed attractive at first. I knew which people came only to receive your light without any desire to protect it, and which roads would carry you far away while gradually separating you from your true self. For this reason, there were times when I had to hold you back before a door you desperately prayed to enter. You called it disappointment, but I called it preservation. You believed you were being rejected, while in truth, you were being kept from a bond that could have taken you many years to escape before recovering your peace. I also know how much you carried in silence. There were nights when you lay down, but your thoughts continued moving through every worry, every former word, and every possibility that filled your heart with uneasiness. You tried to appear well so that no one would be concerned. You smiled when you were nearly empty within. And many times you continued fulfilling your responsibilities when all you wanted was permission to stop. Not everyone understood that strength because it was quiet and did not seek recognition. But I saw it. I saw every moment when you chose not to give up. Every time you gathered yourself after no helping hand was extended. And every step you continued taking without knowing what awaited you ahead. None of it disappeared into emptiness. The very months that seemed filled only with endurance were forming within you a profound resilience, a rare sensitivity, and a compassion no classroom could ever teach. Now, I want you to understand that your waiting was never forgotten. Some prayers were not answered in the way you expected because the answer I was preparing required more transformation than you could have imagined. You prayed for a door, but I first had to prepare the road beyond that door. You prayed for a companion, but I first had to teach you not to seek love through the fear of being alone. You prayed to be lifted, but I had to strengthen the foundation so that when more was entrusted to you, the very thing you desired would not cause you to lose direction. If I had given you something great while you were still dependent upon praise, you would have lived to please others. If I had opened the road before you learned to establish boundaries, you would have allowed unsuitable people to enter with you and disturb what was good. Therefore, time was not only preparing the gift for you, time was also preparing you to preserve that gift with maturity. Not everything you lost has disappeared forever. Some things will be restored in a better form, without the limitations that once caused you pain. Some dreams you believed had died were only being separated from their former form so they could return in a way more suitable for the person you have become. You may not receive exactly what you once possessed, because restoration does not always mean returning to the old place. Sometimes it means being led somewhere new, where you no longer have to make yourself smaller in order to survive. I do not want you merely to recover what was lost. I want you to receive the wisdom that will keep you from losing yourself again. The most valuable gift is not simply another opportunity, but the ability to enter that opportunity with discernment, self-respect, and the wisdom to recognize what truly belongs to you. From this moment forward, stop using difficult days as evidence that your life is moving in the wrong direction. Some seasons resemble destruction on the surface, while a profound rearrangement is taking place underneath. What is no longer stable must be shaken before something new can be built. Connections founded upon fear must leave before people who know how to honor you can enter. Beliefs that continually tell you that you are not good enough must be exposed before you are free enough to stand in the right place. I am not merely changing outward circumstances. I am changing the way you see yourself. When that vision is healed, you will no longer chase places where you are constantly required to prove your value. Nor will you remain beside people who love you only when you fulfill their expectations. The truth I am placing into your hands today is clear. You were never forgotten, and your journey never lost its meaning. Silence taught you to listen more deeply. Delay protected you from impulsive decisions. Closed doors kept you away from environments that were not healthy enough to support your future. Even the tears you believed no one saw softened your heart so that you did not become cold after everything you endured. You may not yet see the entire picture, but you are beginning to recognize the pieces, finding their proper places. What once confused you will gradually help you understand why you had to travel that road. And what once made you feel weak will become a source of strength through which you support someone else. However, this clarity is not being given so that you will remain trapped in the past, analyzing every wound. I am revealing these things so that you may be released from carrying old questions into a new season. You do not need to know every reason before you can continue. Some things will be understood only after you have traveled far enough to look back with more peaceful eyes. What matters now is that you trust that what belongs to you will never require you to sacrifice your dignity in order to obtain it, force you to live in constant anxiety in order to keep it, or compel you to betray the goodness within you. When what is right arrives, it may still require courage and responsibility, but it will not demand that you abandon integrity in order to survive. I, Michael, am near you. As the things that were once concealed begin to come into the light, I have not come to give you answers that make you proud, but to help you walk with greater stability. You no longer need to fear that you missed your final opportunity, because what is truly meant for you cannot be cancelled merely because you were once slow, afraid, or made unwise choices. You have learned, changed, and discovered how to return to the honesty within your heart. Now release the obsession with understanding everything immediately. Live well today. Keep your heart open but discerning, and continue doing small things faithfully. The season of uncertainty is moving behind you, and before you lies a road where every step will gradually confirm that no pain was endured in vain. No season of waiting was overlooked, and nothing truly good has disappeared from your life forever. The quiet movements you have felt recently are not something you need to fear. They are reminders that many things are being arranged at a depth beyond what your eyes can see. Sudden tension. The feeling that a certain road is no longer right for you. Or an inner prompting that causes you to pause before an apparently ordinary decision may be ways in which I guide you away from what is unhealthy. There were times when you intended to move forward, but circumstances unexpectedly changed. Appointments were delayed, plans were interrupted, or doors closed without explanation. At the time, you believed you were unfortunate, obstructed, or had missed an important opportunity. But one day you will understand that not every delay is loss, and not every rejection is intended to wound you. Sometimes I use inconvenience itself to protect you from a decision that could steal the peace you spent so long rebuilding. I know you often pushed those feelings aside and told yourself that everything was merely coincidence. I do not condemn you, because you learned to depend upon what you could see, to reason carefully, and to trust only what could be clearly explained. Yet some forms of protection do not arrive through dramatic signs. They come through a timely delay, a warning from an unexpected person, an uneasiness that causes you to change direction, or a small event that prevents the original plan from continuing. You saw only a day that failed to unfold as expected, while I saw you being spared from a path that did not belong to you. You saw someone leaving your life, while I saw the space that needed to be created so you would no longer be influenced by words that continually caused you to doubt yourself. Some things I do not explain immediately, because clarity often comes only after you have traveled far enough to look back without regret. Protection is not always loud, nor must it be accompanied by signs that astonish you. Many battles are resolved in silence before you ever discover they existed. Harmful intentions were unable to reach you. Conversations changed direction before your name could be mentioned. Connections that seemed certain dissolved because they were not aligned with the future toward which you were being led. You remain standing today not only because you endured well, but also because strength came to you at the very moment you were nearly exhausted. There were mornings when you awakened surprised that you could still continue, even though the night before you believed you had nothing left. I placed peace within you like a quiet stream, enough for you to take one more step, and then another, until you had passed beyond the darkness you once thought would never end. Understand that I do not preserve you so that you will live in fear of invisible danger. I preserve you so that you can walk freely with awareness, without becoming suspicious of everyone. You do not need to look around with constant anxiety or interpret every event as a warning. What I want you to learn is calm discernment, knowing when to pause because your heart is not at peace, verifying promises that appear too good, establishing boundaries when a relationship repeatedly weakens you, and leaving without carrying hatred. Wisdom does not make you cold. It prevents your kindness from being exploited. Caution is not fear, it is the ability to look beneath appearances and refuse to give trust too quickly, merely because someone says what you want to hear. Alongside these changes of direction, there may also be someone who is gradually recognizing your value through the way you live, rather than through the words you use to describe yourself. This person may have watched you face pressure without losing kindness, seen you rise after disappointment, and noticed that you maintained integrity even when no one was checking. They may have observed that you refused the easy road whenever it required you to betray what you knew was right. Perhaps they have never openly expressed this trust, and perhaps the time has not yet come for everything to be revealed. But the qualities you cultivated in silence are becoming a testimony more powerful than any form of self-promotion. When someone witnesses consistency over time, they are persuaded not only by your ability, but also by the dignity you preserve through circumstances that could easily make a person bitter. However, do not become consumed with guessing who this person might be. Do not look at every face and wonder who is watching quietly, who holds an opportunity, or who will open a door for you. What matters is not their identity, but your willingness to continue living honestly before recognition arrives. If you preserve kindness only when you know you are being observed, it will never create lasting depth. But when you choose what is right in unseen places, you build a foundation that time cannot easily shake. The right person will recognize your character at the right moment. The right door will not pass you by merely because you do not know how to display yourself. What belongs to you will be connected through clarity, not through anxiety or attempts to control everyone around you. Genuine trust is not formed through one brief impression. It grows as others see you. Keep your word. Take responsibility and refuse to abandon your principles for immediate gain. You may have believed that no one noticed your patience or that the good you did in silence made no difference. But seeds of trustworthiness do not disappear. They take root in the way others remember you, in the words they speak when you are absent, and in the decisions they make when an opportunity must be entrusted to someone with the character to carry it. Sometimes the thing that opens the future is not an impressive introduction, but a very simple statement from someone who has watched your conduct through many seasons. This person can be trusted. Even so, I want you to remember that your support does not depend entirely upon one person. People may become bridges, but they are not your only source. Therefore, do not place all your hope in someone recognizing you, and do not diminish yourself in order to preserve the approval of a person with influence. If a door opens only when you surrender your honesty, it is not the right path. If an opportunity requires you to remain silent before wrongdoing, it is not worthy of your peace. I may use people of integrity to support you, but proper support will not make you dependent or force you to live in fear that one small mistake will cause everything to disappear. What is built upon truth will give you room to grow. Learn and take responsibility without losing yourself. At present, many details may still remain unclear. You do not yet know which road will open first, who will walk with you for a long time, or which opportunity will become a turning point. This lack of clarity does not mean that you have been abandoned. There are seasons when I show you only the next step, because seeing the entire journey could overwhelm you with its weight or cause you to rush ahead before you are ready. I want you to advance through maturity, not impatience. Care for what lies before you. Complete your present responsibilities. Keep the promises you have made. Learn what you still lack, and clear away the disorder that is distracting your mind. When you remain faithful in small things, you are preparing yourself to enter a wider space without being disoriented by its newness. A time will come when the things you once could not understand become clear. You will look back at a delay and realize that it positioned you at the right moment. You will remember a closed door and understand that, had it opened, you might have lost years in a place that did not nourish you. You will also recognize that the people who left created space for healthier relationships to appear. Then you will no longer view the past through resentment, but through awakened gratitude. Not because everything painful was good, but because I did not allow pain to determine your ending. What once weakened you was transformed into a lesson, and what once caused you to question your worth is becoming the foundation of the discernment you now carry. Therefore, my beloved, continue moving forward without feeling the need to display your faith through numbers or declarations before a crowd. I see what you believe through the way you live. Choose and preserve purity of heart when circumstances remain difficult. Let the peace within you become the confirmation. Let your courage to enter a new door become the answer. You are being preserved, not so that you can shrink in fear, but so that you can mature, love wisely, and enter what is suitable without carrying the chains of the former season. The doors that need to close will close. The right roads will gradually appear, and those capable of seeing your true value will recognize it at the proper time. Your part is to live uprightly, remain awake, and keep moving through calm trust. Everything unclear today will eventually be brought into the light, and you will understand that throughout this entire journey, you were never left alone. You are entering a new stage in which the burdens that once weighed upon your shoulders will gradually be lifted, and the things once hidden behind mist will begin to appear clearly. My beloved, this change does not mean that you will never face difficulty again, nor does it mean that every road will become smooth without requiring perseverance. What is changing is the way you stand before adversity. You no longer have to face old problems through the fear, confusion, and exhaustion of the person you once were. I led you through quiet seasons of training so that now you can look at what once made you tremble without losing peace. The battles may carry familiar shapes, but the person entering them is no longer the same. You have been strengthened. Your discernment has been expanded, and you have learned how to remain steady even when circumstances do not immediately obey your desires. A victory was formed during the days when no one saw your effort. It did not begin with celebration or outward recognition, but in every moment when you refused to give up, each time you rose after disappointment, chose kindness instead of bitterness, and remained honest even when it cost you something, you placed another stone into the foundation of that victory. No one can take it from you because it does not exist in possessions, status, or the praise of others. It has become part of your character. Even if a door closes or someone turns away, what I have built within you remains intact. You learned how to return to peace, how to stand without universal approval, and how to continue even when you could not see the entire road. In the days ahead, what you have quietly overcome within will begin to reveal itself outwardly. Places that once failed to acknowledge you may unexpectedly call your name. Opportunities you believed had passed may return in a better and more fitting form. Some doors were once closed, not because you lacked value, but because you had not yet been prepared to preserve what stood behind them. I do not merely want you to enter an opportunity. I want you to be stable enough not to lose yourself when that opportunity opens. For this reason, I took time to strengthen the parts of you that were easily shaken, heal the fear of rejection, and teach you not to measure your value by the way others treated you. Now, when you enter new doors, you will not carry the posture of someone begging to be accepted, but the calmness of someone who understands they were prepared for that place. You will recognize the right opportunities not only through their attractive appearance, but through the clarity they bring. In the past, you may have been easily drawn toward great promises or rushed to seize something because you feared the opportunity would never return. But adversity has trained your eyes to see more deeply. You are beginning to understand that not every open door must be entered, and not everything that arrives quickly truly belongs to you. What fits will not demand that you exchange integrity, violate your boundaries, or live in endless chaos. It may require effort, but it will not steal your peace. It may demand maturity, but it will not force you to diminish your worth. This discernment is one of the most precious gifts you received through difficult seasons. What you endured was not a sentence over your life. It was preparation enabling you to carry greater responsibility without being led astray by its weight. You once viewed painful days as dead ends, but I used the very places where no road seemed to remain to open another way. Some lessons could be understood only after familiar things were no longer stable. Certain abilities could awaken only when you no longer had anything to depend upon except the steadfastness within you. Some callings could become clear only after the distracting noise had grown quiet. Therefore, do not despise the difficult road you traveled, although you would not choose to return there. You can still be grateful that it taught you what easy days never could. I did not lead you through so many turns, only to abandon you in an uncertain land. I have been beside you from your earliest steps, even when you did not recognize my presence. There were times when you believed luck had helped you escape danger, while I had quietly redirected you. There were moments when you thought a plan had collapsed because you failed, while I was preventing you from binding your life to a place that would have drained you. If I protected you through your weakest moments, you can trust that I will also lead you through the season now opening. You do not stand before the future with empty hands. You carry wisdom from your mistakes, patience from seasons of waiting, and strength formed through days when you believed you could not continue. The most difficult part has moved behind you, but your mind may still return to old rooms. A void, a delay, or a small disruption can remind you of what happened before and make you fear that history is repeating itself. When this occurs, do not condemn yourself. Deep memories need time before they stop sounding warnings. Yet do not give the past authority over the way you live today. Gently remind yourself that you are no longer standing in that former circumstance. What once limited you has lost its power, and the person who once did not know how to protect boundaries has now learned to choose peace. You do not need to continue fighting shadows that have already left your life. Allow the door of the past to close without standing outside it forever. Listening to its echoes, you have grown in ways that are not always immediately visible. That maturity appears when you choose silence instead of reacting through anger. Leave instead of struggling to prove that you are right. And rest instead of treating exhaustion as evidence of faithfulness. You have learned not to give everyone access to the deepest places of your life. You understand that forgiveness does not mean reopening a door that repeatedly brought pain. You also know that kindness does not require you to sacrifice peace in order to preserve an unhealthy relationship. These lessons will support you in the new season, because what is approaching requires not only talent, but also discernment, disciplina, and the ability to protect what is valuable. The movement you are sensing is not something you imagined merely to comfort yourself. There is a reason why the things that once attracted you have become dull, and why places that once felt safe now seem narrow. A rearrangement is taking place within you. You can no longer remain satisfied with old cycles merely because they are familiar. You are beginning to desire greater honesty, deeper peace, and a life more aligned with what I placed within you. This is the sign of a changing season. Do not try to return to your former self merely to make others comfortable. Your growth may confuse some people, but you do not need to diminish your light in order to continue belonging to a room you have outgrown. The things that once exhausted you are gradually losing their influence, not necessarily because they have completely disappeared, but because you no longer feed them with the same attention. You have realized that not every criticism requires an answer. Not every misunderstanding requires an explanation. And not every conflict deserves your strength. You are learning how to give your energy to things capable of producing something good. When you stop resisting everything, your shoulders begin to feel lighter. When you no longer try to control the reactions of others, your heart gains room to breathe. This is not indifference. It is the maturity of someone who has learned to distinguish between what belongs to their responsibility and what must be placed back into my hands. Even the things that once confused you are gradually finding their place within the larger picture. You will understand why certain people had to leave, why some plans could not move forward, and why you had to remain in one season longer than you desired. Not every answer will appear at once, but each layer of the veil will be lifted at the proper time. Then you will see that delay protected you from an immature choice. Rejection redirected you away from an unsuitable road. And solitude helped you hear an inner voice you had once continually ignored. When that understanding arrives, you will no longer view the past with resentment, but with peaceful gratitude.